Welcome back, everyone! This is Geronitis bringing you Feed the Beast 1710. Today we are starting on episode 10, and today we'll be doing some upgrades. Upgrades. You want better stuff? Back up. Okay, I don't have my magnet on, and it just dropped another piece of coal. Today, like I said, upgrades. We're going to be doing some further upgrades. Last episode, we got things going. We got our automated ore processing going. You'll notice that we have a second alloy smelter here now. As long as I am putting large amounts of ores through here, it does backlog. It backlogs because of the... Oh, I'm out of steel balls. The dark steel balls cause it to backlog because it makes... Instead, like I showed you before, instead of doubling things, it often quadruples. So when it quadruples them, it's more than this thing can handle all at once. And okay, it's just gonna build up over there. It's fine. So it often does that as a problem. Now I'm doing something wrong all of a sudden, and I don't remember what I'm doing wrong. I need to make more dark steel, and I don't remember what dark steel is made of. I believe it's obsidian, coal dust, and yeah, iron, coal dust, and obsidian. But I think I used up all of my obsidian. Yes, we have one block of obsidian left, and unfortunately that's not going to be enough. So we need to do something about that. So we need to upgrade our obsidian supply. I believe I took all that stuff up. I still haven't marked this chest. We only have, oh well, we have 101 blocks of obsidian potential, I guess, if you can call it. So we need to get that to where it's going to run without me having to manually move the buckets over. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to go ahead and build a nifty little thing from this mod that I'm playing with a lot called Ender.io. And we're going to build a reservoir. Now it shows here, it's formed when placed in a 2x2x1. Add 2 buckets of water for an infinite water source. Okay, 1 bucket per second, and it has an auto output as well. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and make one of these. It's going to require some fused quartz and some normal glass. Now the fused quartz is going to be 4 pieces of quartz in the alloy smelter. So now that makes one of these. No, it makes 2 of these. Okay, so I need 2 recipes worth of this, and 2 recipes worth of this is going to be, let's see, so it's 4 per piece of glass. That's 8 per 2 reservoirs. That means 16 total in order to make what I want to make. So we're gonna go ahead and why is that over there? Oh, because multiplication. Indeed. All right, so now that should go ahead and make me the quite clear glass. Now this is going to basically work the same way as an infinite water source. Okay, here we've put the buckets of water next to each other, and that has caused them to be an infinite water source. You take one bucket, and then the 2 source blocks flow together to form a new source block. Now there's several ways I can access this, but I'm choosing to do it this way because this is going to be more fun for me, and it's actually going to make it a lot easier to work with. So let's go ahead, and we're going to need 16 of these because we're going to need 2 cauldrons. Either I did my math wrong or I don't know. I don't know what I just did. But there's our fused quartz piped over here directly. Awesome. Very nice. So now we should be able to take that and some blocks from our random blocks chest, being the glass, and we should be able to go ahead and make these. Sweet. So now we have 4 of these, and we're going to form them up just like we would a normal infinite water source. I'm going to go ahead and do this over here, but we're going to need 2 buckets of water before I form this. So let's go ahead and get 1 from the current infinite water source. And you know what? It's never going to hurt me to have an extra bucket of water, or an extra bucket for that matter. Let's go ahead and make ourselves a 2nd bucket. That way I don't have to worry about this. And there we go, 2nd bucket. Now, when we form this thing, just like this, it's going to form into a multi-block. Multi-block form! Ta-da! Now, I have it in the corner so you can't see it very well. Maybe I should go ahead and let you guys see it really well, and then I can fix the corner back. Unless, of course, those creepers are still out here. No creepers? No creepers. I hear a spider. Hey, buddy, you want to come down here and face me like a spider? Yeah, I didn't think so. All right, so anyway, let's just, for the fun of it, show you guys what this looks like. And it's, oh wow, really? I mined it that quickly? I didn't realize this thing's broke that easily. But that's okay too. There we go. Alright, so as you can see, that's the reservoir. We're going to put 2 buckets of water in it. And now with 2 buckets of water in it, it will continuously refill itself. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and put the igneous extruder, and I'm going to place it on top of it. Okay, now as you can see, we don't have lava or water in here. So we're going to go ahead, come out around here since I just covered the top of it. We should be able to shift right click, there we go, shift right click with the wrench, and it changes it to auto output, which is not working because we need to change this to an input. There we go. So now this thing is automatically filling with water from beneath, and now I don't have to worry about piping water in order to keep the igneous extruder working. Okay, so that's going to get me that part, and we're going to set this thing to obsidian again as well because we want it to make obsidian for us. So that takes care of one thing. Now the other problem that we have is that we have a drum of lava, but the lava isn't actually going to be going anywhere. Even if I were to take this directly and put this on top here, and even if I were to change the input to the top to an input, this is not taking the lava in because the lava drums do not automatically export to their inventory. So in order to do that, we're going to need something that's going to transfer lava, a liquid tubing of some sort. And I believe we've already made some, if I can spell, we've already made certain conduits from Ender.io. One of the ones we haven't made is a liquid conduit. Or a fluid conduit in this case. So the fluid conduit, this maximum extract is 50 millibuckets, and let's see, this is going to take quite clear glass. That's actually pretty simple. This one's actually going to do 100 millibuckets per tick, and then, oh, there is another higher one. Let's take a look. This one's just glass. That's simple. I can make that no question. This one is fused quartz. I can actually make that one no question too. This one's going to require vibrant alloy. We haven't made any of that yet, but we're actually going to make that here in a minute. I wonder if I should wait. You know what? No, for the igneous extruder, we don't need that. We're going to make 3 more fused quartz. We actually only need 1 of these to do what I want to do here. So let's go ahead and, let's just toss a stack of quartz in here. It won't be a big deal at all to make plenty of this stuff later. And we can go ahead and get that working. We're going to go ahead and put the lava drum back here. And now, in theory, we'll have fused quartz show up over here in just a second. There's 2. 1 more, please. Thank you. And we can grab ourselves some conduit. Okay, yeah, good. For a second there, I thought I had used it all. And I was like, no, I made tons of the stuff. It's a problem with making tons of it. You're like, oh, I've got plenty of that. And then it turns out that you don't. All right, so cool. So now we have the second tier. Actually, it's pretty good that we went that way since we have these. Now, you might say, oh, my God, there's a hole in his wall. No, remember, when you're holding the conduit, it automatically blanks out other facades. So we're going to go ahead and place 1 of these here just to have this connected. And let's see. That didn't do it yet. No, it sure didn't. All right, so if we shift left click on this pipe, we are going to see select connection to adjust, okay? And that's going to be the up connection. The up connection we're going to do as an extract, and we're going to go ahead and do it acting without a signal. Now that should actually have done it all through and through because we don't need to adjust the downside. Yep, there we go. We now have lava and water automatically being put into the igneous extruder. So until this drum runs out of lava, we are good for obsidian. So yes, now it is making obsidian, and we can make some of the dark iron as soon as we get enough obsidian to do so. So that will be going ahead and working while we are doing this next thing. All right, let's see. We got that. We got that. We got this. You know what? Come here. What? No. Is it? Oh. No, that's not right. Okay, we need to remove that as an output. I was trying to figure out where the obsidian was going. I was like, wait a minute. All right, cool. So we can toss that in there, and that will get that started doing its thing. Now that we have that going, we can go ahead and work on something else. Let's put this stuff away. Otherwise, I will be running around with it. All right, cool. So the next thing we want to do is we actually want to make, because the problem I'm having still is that we're going to run out of coal. We're down to 6 blocks. Oh my gosh. We're making a lot of mana, and that's good because we're going to be using a lot of mana down the road. It's going to be a little bit down the road, but we need to go ahead and be making it now because it takes forever to make, and we need to go ahead and store up a bunch of it. So the problem remains is that we're running out of coal. Okay, so if we're using coal to generate mana, and we're using coal to generate power, we need to do this as efficiently as possible. Okay, so we saw last episode where we put the double layer capacitor in here, okay, and it increased the power generation from this from 20 to 40 RF, and the burn rate from 2 times to 1.5. So it's actually making it better and more efficient and hold more energy for that matter. Now we can take that a step further. Okay, when we look at the capacitors, there are 3 layers, as I said before. The basic capacitor is just used for crafting. The double layer capacitor is used to upgrade the machines, but you can go even further and you can go to the octadic capacitor, okay? And the octadic capacitor, it upgrades the machines even more. And we want to go ahead and do that. So, we're going to need 2 double layer capacitors, which we made extras of, glowstone, which we have plenty of, but we're also going to need some of the vibrant alloy, as we saw earlier for the fluid conduit, which we're not worried about that as much, but we need this to make the upgraded capacitor. And the upgraded capacitor is energetic alloy with an ender pearl and 10,000 RF. Well, we can actually do that because I believe, yes, we have ender pearls. And do we have any energetic alloy left? Yes, we do. Sweet. All right, so let's see. We're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the octadic capacitors. Oh, wow, that's actually perfect because we're going to need, yeah, that should work just perfectly. That and that. Actually, we don't need 10 of these per se. We save 1. Oh, no, we do. We don't have enough ender pearls because this makes 1 per, right? Or did I just miss that? Yeah, this makes 1 per, so we don't have enough ender pearls. So we're going to have to choose. We can upgrade, you know, we're just going to upgrade the generators for now because I need more ender pearls to be able to upgrade this more effectively. You know what, let's see. While we're waiting for that to cook, let's see if these guys are going to be forthcoming with the pearls of ender. Nice. Oh, 3, nice. Hey, give it back. Bad zombie. Yay! I don't see any more endermen. Ah, there is 1 more enderman. Hey, can you drop 6 more ender pearls? I kind of need... Yeah, I shouldn't have done that. Ah! Hey, he teleports on his own. He doesn't need your help, creeper. Ow, ow, ow. Ow! Ow, 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 ow. Stop it! Okay, going back inside. Didn't quite get enough ender pearls, but by God, I got some, so let's put them to use. Alright, good. So, actually, 3 more ender pearls, and I'll be able to make a full set. Go figure. Alright, so now that we're making the vibrant alloy, we can use the vibrant alloy along with the double layer capacitors that we already have, and some glowstone, which we can make easily enough. Thankfully, we've been to Nether. And let me eat something, because food is good. Alright, so now we can go ahead and make the octadic capacitors. Now look at that, we got 3 so far. So now we can go ahead and put these in here, and the fun part is that we can actually take... now, keep this in mind, by the way. Don't ever take the double layer capacitor out, because this thing has almost 200,000 RF. When you take the double layer out, it actually decreases the power back down to 100,000, so you lose all that power you have stored up. If you're going from the double layer to the octadic, click the octadic on it to swap them out, and you won't lose the power that you had. See, we still have the same amount of power, and we just increased its efficiency and its ability as well. So we don't actually lose anything. Here, this one's not burning, nor is it really using any. And just because I want you guys to understand, I'll go ahead and lose this power. When we take this one out, we have 184,000, right? When we take this one out, it's suddenly full, but we only have 100,000. So it actually just took almost 100,000 RF from me. And when we're trying to be more efficient, that's not very efficient. So let's go ahead and see. Do I have any more? Yes, I have some coal saved aside just for this. So we can go ahead and put this in here. And awesome. Now that's upgraded and we are good to go. Let's see. This is done, and I don't really want to do that because it's going to waste a bunch of energy again. But I really don't have a whole lot of choice here because I can go ahead and make one more octatic. Oh, yeah, it's a total of 2 more. Alright, so let's see. We're going to go ahead and upgrade that one. And this one for the fun of it. And now we have more that we can make octatic capacitors with. Now, the octatic capacitors are the highest tier of upgrade for this, so keep that in mind. It's actually an amazingly good way to... Wow, I actually got exactly the amount of upgrades that I wanted. So yeah, this is actually going to make it significantly faster. Actually, before this gets to generating too much, let's take that... I just wasted that power. Dang it. Okay, oh well. Alright, cool. That's perfect. We just got enough of that. Alright, so let's take a look real quick. When we put this in here, you can see that it starts to cook, and you can see how fast the flames are moving. So this is with the dual layer capacitor. When we switch it to the octatic, we're actually going to notice that it actually increases speed yet again, and is now going that much faster. So awesome. That works out very nicely. And of course, we're making plenty of dark steel now, because we are getting this going. However, we're only got 21 buckets of lava left. We're going to need to get more lava soon. That little lava lake that we found over there is just not going to hold up much longer. So, awesome. We now have octatic capacitors, which, by the way, when we added that, in case I didn't tell you, which I know I didn't, which is why I'm going back and telling you now, is because generating, we went from 40 to 80 RF, and the burn rate went down to 1.5. Now, wait a minute. We were at 1.5, weren't we? Oh, look at that. It didn't change the burn rate. I thought it, that must be a new piece, because the burn rate was supposed to go down again when we upgraded to octatic. Oh, well, we're generating 80 RF per tick, so we went from 40 to 80 at the same burn rate. So we basically just doubled the efficiency of this. It used to be more, but that's okay. So, yep, so now we're doing that. Now, when this gets full, it will automatically shut off. It will not burn and continue to have power being generated when there's no place to put it. And wow, we're still going down in power? Well, actually, that makes sense, because this is a fairly heavy thing we're doing right here. So, is this actually using up more? Oh, wow, it's using more power than it's getting. Well, that's interesting. I gotta say, I didn't expect that. And we're using the second tier of energy, aren't we? Yes, we are. I heard an Enderman. Whichever. Guys, it doesn't matter. Come on in. Y'all can line up. Yeah, that's right. And you're closing the door on each other. Yeah, come on. Come on. You guys have absolutely no care whatsoever for the fact that I'm here. You're so intent on the villagers that yeah, here we go. Yeah, they look tasty, don't they, guys? Yeah, I know. You're just gonna stand there and stare at them. And now the only way I can get your attention is to actually kill you, which is exactly what I'm going to do. Stop beating on my doors. Annoyance. Anyway. I just find that hilarious, by the way, that the zombies are actually so intent on getting to the villagers that they just ignore me while I, basically walk up behind them and then beat them to death. I just find that hilarious. So anyway, so yes, now that we have octatic capacitors in those, and we have extra capacitors because as we build more Ender IO machines, we are going to want to upgrade those, so we'll have the extra capacitors to do so. Alright, so since we're doing upgrades, we need to upgrade our tools. Okay, seriously, guys? Quit. You too. Thank you. Alright, cool. So, we also covered 2 episodes ago, I believe it was, making upgraded hammers and tools of such nature. I can't talk. So, what we're going to do now is, since we have a hammer for mining, there's a couple other things we're going to want when it comes to Tinkerer's constructs, okay? One of the next things we're going to want is the lumber axe. Okay, the lumber axe allows us to chop down entire trees in one go, assuming we have the durability to do so. Okay, so as we saw when I made my hammer, we're going to go ahead and make this out of a very basic set of materials because we really don't need to go any bigger or better than the basic set of materials. So we're going to need a broad axe head, a large plate, a tough tool binding, I think it is, or a large tool binding, and a tough tool rod. Okay, and let's see. In my chest here, I happen to have 6 more slime crystals. So let's go ahead and make a couple things. We're going to need the tough tool rod, and we're going to use the slime crystals just because it is a very decent handle modifier. You know what? We're going to go ahead and make a second one of these because I happen to know we're going to need it here in just a minute. Let's see. What else did I make this out of? Which, by the way, when you are mousing over your Tinker's Construct tools, if you hold Shift, it shows the stats and, of course, controls for materials, as it says right there in the tooltips. So I'm going to hit Control. I got the tough tool rod, slimy, paper, stone, and obsidian. Ooh, I just used all my obsidian. No, I didn't. I had extra. Oh, wow. Are we out? Yeah, we're out. We are completely out of lava. We're going to have to do something about that. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and... Oh, we can't make it in that thing. Part builder, please. Actually, while I'm here, let's go ahead and see. We're going to make this. We're going to need a large plate. Yeah, I can work with that. And we're also going to make a excavator, but we'll get to that in a minute. And that's going to require another large plate. It's basically the exact same thing except an excavator head instead of a lumber axe head or a large blade axe. Wide axe? What's it called? Oh, I don't even have that pattern yet. That's kind of special. It is a broad axe. I said it right earlier. I just can't think and like talk and play at the same time because brains. And I believe we need one of these. I think that's all the castings we're going to need. And no, we're not going to make that out of obsidian. Alright, cool. So we're going to need 2 obsidian tough plates along with the 2 slimy rods. Let's see. We're also going to want to use paper for the binding because the binding doesn't actually add anything except a possible material trait. And I think I kept the paper in miscellaneous. Yes, I did. There we go. So we're going to go ahead and make the tough binding out of paper, and we're going to need 2 of these. And because these are so similar, we can just make 2, 2, and 2. Now the only thing that makes the difference is here, and that is the broad axe head and the excavator head. And we're going to use cobblestone for those because first off, we have a ton of cobblestone, and second off, it's easy to have cobblestone to repair these things with the cobblestone. So go ahead and put those there. We got 1, we got 2. Now, later on, if I want to, and I probably will when we get further along, we'll make these out of better materials. We'll make a second version of these things just to make them, better, stronger. I don't know if faster is going to really play into it, but we're basically just going to put this stuff together, and we wind up with the lumber axe. Oh, wow, the durability is only 711. I really thought I was going to have higher durability than that. Well, I mean, it's still the basic thing. We got plenty of modifiers, so that should be fine. The stone adds stone bound, which, like I said, adds a mining bonus speed. The obsidian adds reinforced 3. The paper gives us an extra modifier, and the slime gives it the slimy trait. Yet again, every single piece of this tool that I'm making is actually going to add something to the tool. We're not going to have any redundant pieces here. So this is going to be, let's see, what's a good name for a broad axe? This is going to be the Pandemax. Yeah, Geranitis Pandemic, the Pandemax. I don't know. Yeah, we'll go with that. So there we have the Pandemax is born. And now while we're here, let's go ahead and throw the excavator together because reasons. Now the excavator works exactly like the hammer does, whereas the hammer does not work on, I guess they call them soft materials, dirt, sand, and stuff like that. The hammer doesn't work on that. The excavator is for that. So the excavator does work on dirt and sand and clay and other things that a shovel normally works on, and it basically does the same thing, the 3x3 pattern. Let's see. This is going to be the. Let's see. EXCAV. Excavatus. And this is the excavatus, because Geranitis gets the excavatus, because I think it's funny and I want to. Alright, cool. So let's take these suckers for a quick test run after I eat something. And I already have a blue slime outside. Hi. I'm going to kill you with an axe. And possibly spawn another one by killing you with it. Alright, so instead of a normal axe, you have to chop each single block. The wood, this thing that I made, the, I can't think. It's the wood cutting axe. When you chop the bottom piece, it actually takes every block that is attached to it. Okay? Now, it basically determines that you are chopping a tree by the presence of leaves on top of the blocks of wood. So, for a good example, let me finish chopping these down and I'll show you what's going to happen, because it actually does make a difference whether or not you have leaves on top of them. So, since we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and grab the horn of the canopy, and this will show a perfect example of this. Let's go ahead and break all the leaf blocks. Alright, so now you saw that by chopping at the bottom of the tree, it took the entire tree down, leaving nothing but the leaves behind. Now, the axe, basically when you're chopping, it looks for leaf blocks higher up. So, as you saw earlier when we chopped that one, it chopped the whole tree. But now if we chop this one, it doesn't, because it does not notice that there's leaves above, so it doesn't recognize it as a tree. Now, if that's the case, it actually does a 3x3 area, just like the excavator or the axe, or the hammer, that is. Okay, so keep that in mind. If there's not leaves on top of the tree, it's just going to chop it in a 3x3 area. Okay, in this case, there are leaves up there, so this will chop it all the way up. Okay, now, there is a limitation, okay? The axe can look up to a certain degree. If you have a really, really tall tree and there's leaves at the top, but the leaves don't start until they're a long way up, the axe won't recognize it. So sometimes it will, sometimes it won't, especially when you're chopping really tall trees where the leaves are really high up. One of the giant redwoods from Natura is actually a perfect example of that. Or in this case, what's a good example? I don't want to make too much of a mess here, but sure, I can show you this example. So it knows that I'm chopping wood. So if I chop right here, there's no leaves, but it still knows I'm chopping wood, so it chops a 3x3 area, just like that. Okay, so just to let you know, in case you're trying to chop down trees and you're trying to figure out why it isn't working, it has to have the leaves. If it doesn't have the leaves, it will leave it alone. That was horrible, and I apologize. I almost pulled the axe out to break the one block. That would not have worked out. Alright, cool. So, along with the same example, we're going to show you the excavator. This is actually going to be really good for when you're trying to dig lots of dirt out. In this case, it digs through in a 3x3 area just like that. So when it comes to leveling land, this is going to be a very handy thing to have. Also, if you're down mining and you need to do something with a bunch of dirt that's in the way of the tunnel you're digging, this is a lot easier than using your hand or even a normal shovel. Now keep in mind, if you are, depending on what side of the block you're digging on will determine what pattern it takes, okay? As I'm digging on the side of this block, it does basically one block in every direction, including diagonal, is chopped. So if I chop at the top of a block, it's going to do the same, only instead of going up and down, left and right, it goes north, south, east, and west, as you can see there. So keep that in mind whenever using any of the upgraded Tinker's Construct tools. That is the way that they function. Alright, now again with these, we actually have given them quite a bit of stuff. They can be repaired very simply with cobblestone. They can be made a lot faster with redstone. And as we've seen on this, actually this is a perfect time to show you this, we can actually upgrade them further. This particular setup, this one, as you see, we made it with the same setup as we did the others. So it had 4 modifiers when we first made it, okay? And as you can see here, one modifier is a diamond, and redstone, which is 50 redstone per modifier, is 150 redstone, so that's all 4 modifiers have been used. Well, I want to upgrade my hammer some more. I want to make it better, stronger, do more things. Okay, so we can actually add modifiers to the hammer. It's actually written down in the Tinker's Construct book, which I have promptly lost. What did I do with that book? What did I do with that book? It should have been in the miscellaneous junk chest. Or am I just looking straight at it? World domination with open blocks? No. I should have put it there with that. Oh, pff, duh. Gee, I wonder where the Tinker's Construct book is. Might it be in the Tinker's Construct chest? I don't know. Sounds crazy to me. As you can see here at the end of the book, it has a modifier section. So let's click through this really quickly. Blah, 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 blah. There we go. When it comes to adding modifiers, you can add modifiers in four possible ways if you want to cheat. But in the first way, you use a single diamond and a block of gold, and that will add a single modifier, and you can only do it once per tool. As it says here, type single use, and no, they are not stackable because you can only use it once. The second way to add a modifier is actually a very expensive way. It requires a block of diamond and what they call a notch apple. Okay, it's basically a golden apple that is, instead of being made with gold ingots, it is made with gold blocks. Okay, so it's an apple in the center of the crafting grid with 8 blocks of gold around it, and then a block of diamond. That will give you another modifier, but again, it is also single use and is not stackable, so you can only use it once. The third possible way is a nether star. One nether star gotten by defeating the wither can add yet another modifier to your tool. So you can add a total of 3 more modifiers to your tool if you're being legitimate. The other thing you can do is to cheat in a golden head specific to the type of tool. And if you're going to cheat them in, you can add as many modifiers as you want, because you can actually put as many of these as you want. It's 1 use per golden head, but they are stackable, so you can go ahead and give yourself 1,000 modifiers if you want to, but that's only if you really want to cheat. And we don't agree with cheating in this household. So anyway, that being the case, I want to go ahead and add a modifier. So let's go over here in the Gems, Dust, and Dyes. And I also am going to, oh my god, would you please stop? I swear. You know what? This is just fine. I would leave the door open and just let you guys in all the time, except you let creepers in with you, and I don't want my house blown up. Stop beating on my door. Don't worry, I'll take care of them in a minute. Well, I'll take care of them permanently in a minute. So 9 ingots is 1 block of gold, so we can go ahead and make this. And then in here, we can go ahead and with the hammer in there, 1 block of gold, 1 diamond, and as you see over here, it now says 1 modifier remaining. So we are adding a modifier to the hammer. Okay, so now that we have a modifier added to the hammer, we can actually go ahead and add something else. Okay, so with the hammer now, see, we already have slimy, we already have reinforced, we already have haste, and it's actually faster than I need it to be, because the mining speed is actually really fast. If I go much faster, it's actually going to cause problems. We'll be breaking blocks faster than the actual game can keep up with the fact that we're breaking blocks. So what are the other possible modifiers that we would want to add to this hammer? Seeing as we have 1 modifier remaining, I'm going to go ahead and add some fortune to it. The reason I want to add fortune to it is because while I was mining, with this thing being so fast mining, I actually mined diamonds with it before I even realized they were there. And I have this fortune pickaxe specifically to mine diamonds so that I can get multiple diamonds per. But when you're going so fast, you can actually cause yourself to get the diamonds before you realize that they're there. So you can either purposely slow down in your mining, or you can, just have it so that you have special stuff on here. Now, one of the things about adding fortune to this, it's actually adding luck, and luck is the same thing as fortune. When you add a piece of lapis lazuli, it's going to take up the last modifier. Okay, and it says lapis 1 out of 450. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and add that. Now, that is, as it shows here, added in 1 out of 450. Now, when you reach the final 450, you can add 450 pieces of lapis and get it all the way up, and that will give you fortune 3. Okay, now if you don't have the excess lapis, which we do, and I'm going to use it, but I wanted to show you this first. If you don't have the excess lapis, you can put one piece on, and then as you use the tool, of course I run into dirt right away, and the coal, oh well. I guess I didn't get to fortune that coal. So as we're using the tool, we will go ahead and be adding lapis to the tool as we're using it. Okay? Basically, the lapis grows on the tool itself. Okay? So if you don't want to spend a lot of lapis, or if you just don't have very much, you can just add one piece of lapis, and then as you use the tool, the lapis will multiply itself. So as you can see here, I now have 5 lapis on here, and it really only cost me 1 lapis. Okay, so you can actually get a lot of luck on here and only spend 1 piece of lapis lazuli to do so. Okay, I happen to have an extremely large amount of lapis because it spawns a lot in this world. So that being the case, I'm going to go ahead and spend the lapis to go ahead and get this thing moved up a bit. But I just wanted you guys to see that you can do that without having that be necessary. You don't have to spend that much lapis. Okay, and now as you can see, I'm now up to looting 1 and fortune 1. And the reason it has looting 1 is because this is a mining implement. But as you saw when I made it 2 episodes back, it actually is a highly effective weapon against zombies. So since it's an effective weapon against zombies, it's going to go ahead and have looting on it as well. Now you can see I'm up to looting 2 and fortune 2. Now, if you're going to go ahead and be doing this, you should stop when you get close to the end. Okay, you don't want to get all the way to 450, because once you reach 450, you may not get looting 3 and fortune 3. Okay, so you want to get it really close to the end, but not actually push it over, because each time it gains some lapis, it has a chance of gaining that extra modifier on there from looting 2 or fortune 2 to fortune 3. So you always want to stop just short of what you need, okay? So that's going to be 439. We're going to put one more block on here. That's going to bring it to 448 out of 450. And now we're going to use it one more time to mine, and that should force it to fortune 3. I believe. Actually, I can just look at it like this. And that gave it, oh no, still fortune 2. It's not supposed to do that. Let's see. Hey. And okay, well, it's apparently not going to be that nice. Let's see. It's supposed to have the chance of gaining each one each time. Maybe I just need to use it a little bit more mining-wise. And there it is. Looting 3 and fortune 3. So if you were to apply the lapis continuously, you may not get looting 3 and fortune 3. You may only get one of them. You may get both. It's possible, but it's a possibility that won't as well. So keep that in mind when you're adding this stuff. And now my hammer has fortune 3, so if I'm mining really fast, I don't really have to worry about I don't have to worry about getting diamonds and not have them being multiplied. So that's it for this episode. We are running out of time. Actually, we're a little bit over on the episodes, which, by the way, I apologize. I know I usually keep to 30-minute episodes, and I've been running a little bit over lately. Honestly, I'm just so excited playing this and having so much fun that I really lose track of time, and I get into doing things specifically, and then I look down and the time has already passed, and it's just a thing. So, apology for the extra long episodes. I'll try to keep them a little bit shorter in the future. Haha. Alright, yeah, no, not playing with the creepers. So until next time, this is Jeronitis signing off on episode 10 of my Let's Play series. Like me if you like me, subscribe if you want to see what we get into next, and as always, help spread the gaming!